Good afternoon, all of you, and good evening, good morning to some of you who are joining from different parts of the world. This conversation is sort of like a conversation that we wanted to have with Vinayak. Essentially, the larger context is that we've all been seeing ASS, right? So ASS has become sort of like a platform where the entire Indian cybersecurity ecosystem and lately the global cybersecurity ecosystem is converging under one umbrella, right? It's really where so many conversations take place, and most of the times you also see some small things actually getting such a big traction, and bigger things actually quietly begins, right? So as we are less than a month away from ASS 2025, I wanted to take a step back and really talk to Vinayak to see what does ASS actually mean and how it's evolved, and why is it actually a bit different this year, right? So the next 30 minutes, if we wanted to keep this conversation candid as possible, and Vinayak has been there, done that. I think for all the last 15 years, he's seen ASS evolve so much. So I thought we'll have a quick informal chat with Vinayak and tell all of us from his bird's eye view on what ASS actually is, right?
Yeah.
So with that, Vinayak, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Teja, for setting this up, Teja and Charu. And this is the uh, thing that we conclude probably the year. What happens in the year? We think that AIS is more like a culmination of things that happen in cybersecurity, right? And we say it's like a uh, as you rightly said, so India meets for security in Delhi in the school weather, cool, and for some it's warm weather. To really think, reflect on what happened in the year in
Mm,
cybersecurity, and also look at different dimensions involved in that, and see how we take a stock of the year, look at
mm,
how the subjects of security we just reach to that inflection point, and
mm,
what exactly it does, what challenges throw in a various different dimensions, different areas, and different nuances that get involved, and what it really brings to the table, right? We can until now largely security was discussed as a to be defended, to be protected, to be taken care of, to be responded better. But we
mm,
also look at the possibilities, and how are those evolving, and how can we realize them? Innovation. How do you see security's changing role from to be taken care of to enabling businesses, right? So
mm,
that way, this is the evolution of the subject of security, right? What we started somewhere in, I think, AIS's history precedes DSA formation. So
mm,
DSA will be completing 17 year. AISS is completing 20th year this year, basically, right? Because it was started even DSA was getting formed, and that's why this was reached to this level.
mm,
This evaluation we have seen, so when security was a brownfield subject
mm,
in last 5 years, but when we started AIS, it was a greenfield, a very
mm,
like new fresh ideas. Very few people in India understand know about security. When we started there, it became a very kind of a brownfield in last 6 7 years, but suddenly it's becoming greenfield because of the AI and a lot of emerging tech
mm,
coming in, right? So
mm,
now we are really looking at security from that refreshing mind, and because AI brings a lot of new paradigm,
mm,
lot of new thinking, not only for security but other areas, but more importantly for security. And that's why
mm,
this year is more like looking at those greenfield
mm.
subjects and areas in cybersecurity.
Right, absolutely. I mean, ASS, as you rightly said, Vinayak, has evolved so much in the last, I think, what, 20 odd years or so. But Vinayak, I want to ask you, right? I want to ask you the why of ASS, right? I think you beautifully covered how ASS has started, and to some degree you've touched upon what we will be covering this year, right? So, but if I have to ask you, key, why? What is the why behind ASS, right? What is the actual impact that do you feel that ASS has on the entire cybersecurity ecosystem, if I may ask you?
Yeah, so one important part of the ISS is it's a it's a platform for
Mm,
not the one set of the people, but various different set of people.
yeah.
So we see more defense people now on ISS, a lot of government, a lot of public sector organization, and the increasing presence of them on the this particular platform is
mm,
encouraging, and that's one segment. But we
mm,
also see that technology now completes a lot with a lot of things we do socially, politically, economically. So we see a lot of policy, legal paternity.
mm,
People see this as one of the important area, or probably platform to deliberate and discuss about the policies, regulation, how do you govern this better, right? And this is a second segment, right? Third segment is the leaders, security leaders of the country, and so they are a partner. They when we all also believe in cybersecurity, is security is actually learning, and learning
mm,
is here is collective learning. So we learn from each other, right? And so platform like this provides that opportunity from learning from all the experiences
mm,
across industry vectors, because that's the also
mm,
very important kind of a strength of DSA, that across sector we have representation, right? Means and we say there are three type of the enterprises, if I say from
mm,
ecosystem perspective. One is the transaction processing industry,
mm,
and
mm,
we see BFSI sector quite aggressively being part of AISS. We see economic value creating industry. Uh,
mm,
it's like a energy company, power sector company, manufacturing companies, right? So all of them are doing. We are seeing very aggressive participation from them in AISS, right? And there are a lot of agenda that is now being shaped for them. For
mm,
example, this
mm,
OT
mm,
security sub summit that we do basically, right, is largely for catering to their challenges and problems basically, right? And there
mm,
are third important is also tech industry, right?
mm, mm,
Which is which is in a business of providing technology capabilities basically. They're not necessarily
right.
security provider companies, right?
Mm,
So these are three type of the industry, and so the one significant part of tech industry nowadays, as we say, cybersecurity industry ecosystem is now becoming bigger and bigger. It's 20 billion
mm,
plus now, and we are
mm,
also within the cybersecurity industry. We are also seeing the product industry, for that matter.
mm,
India's security product industry is also now reaching to quite significant level. So from the industry perspective, I see this is a reflection of all these kind of a segments, right?
yeah.
And in that you can also see critical sector cutting across all these three type of the organization that I talked about. But on the other side, government side, public sector organization, certainly, because they see this as one
Mm,
of the important platform for them to engage with the overall ecosystem, to engage with all these thinking and share their critical experiences as well, right?
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but another important part of the DSS, this event is, and we also really feel really privileged to host them, is the government ecosystem, right? And when I say government, there are three type of the thing again, right? Government is one part of the government is actually delivering public services, right?
Mm,
And a lot of now, all of us know the digital public infrastructure institutions, right, which are creating those value. Um,
mhm,
um, we say this is an organization which are creating the public value ecosystem, all
right.
the DPIs of the country. So they have significant, and we engage with them, and they will be participating quite aggressively in this AISS. But there are a lot of
Mm,
line ministry which provides a lot of public services, and we are seeing the participation by ministry also coming well. And then there is third one is also the regulatory ecosystem.
mm, mm,
So this is a overall ecosystem, and then we also have the 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 public policy, legal paternity, the security
mm,
expert, the architect, the security CISO leadership. So this like a they all meet for security. So that's why we say
right.
AIS is where India meet for security. So all of those ecosystem, those players, those are interested in cybersecurity, and including the innovators, startups, aspirants, basically, right? So for them,
Mm,
this AIS is like a on a kind of a yearly the great platform and opportunity to come and see how things are evolving, and
mm,
learning from each other, right? That's a coordinated learning as well, and they also learn how to respond. And response in security is not like you yourself can respond, so you have to engage and work with ecosystem to respond. So response is a coordinated response. So here is the platform which also try to bring that coordination between the different players together.
right. I mean, very beautifully said, Vinayak. I think many people think of ASS. Okay, chalo, this is one of the security conferences, but there's so much in ASS that happens much beyond. tech and everything. It's phenomenal to see essentially how ASS has evolved over the last, I think, what, 20 years or so. So Vinayak, I mean, as you rightly said, right? We do continuous learning, and we are quite transparent in the fact that we actually learn from the community as much the community learns from us, right? So in that sense, I mean, I can take the liberty to say ASS every year. ASS is actually a reinvention of the all the culmination of the 20 years of ASS, right? So if I have to ask you, what are some of the big shifts that ASSR is bringing to the table this time? You briefly touched about OT, but is there anything else that is happening in ASS this time that is significantly different to what it was maybe 2024, 2023?
So and that's what I mean. I like about AISS is this is a not a. I know a lot of business happen over the AISS, right? Most of the people join here, they get a quite a quite a leads and quite a traction, and also the relations that they can build basically, right? But so AISS is a multiple agendas together, right? So we say there are multiple threads in AISS. So one is the content, and within content there are threads depending on your interest. If you're in application, you are in cloud, you are interested in quantum, you are interested in AI. So there are a lot of these threads that you can really enjoy. So as we know, the cybersecurity as a subject is now not really monolithic one way of looking and one way of understanding subject. There are multiple disciplines of cybersecurity, and each discipline comes with their own practices, own technical capability, own strategic, tactical, and administrative operational thinking. Right. So one is a exploration of subject of security in every disciplines of to the level of depth and level of evaluations that we see, right? So that's one important from the agenda side, and we try to make sure that the agenda reflects what is happening, right? And agenda also looks at what is going to happen from now, right? That's the one part, one significant part of the AISS. But AISS is also the because AISS has proven, right? And we are very happy, right? There's this innovation box that we do at AISS. So it's like a celebration of the innovation happening in the country, and most of the people who won that innovation box, they had really scaled up themselves,
Yeah.
and they had come back and contributing to AISS, right? Most of the sponsors of AISS, there are a lot of India origin companies, right? So innovation box is one of the important thing. Then we do the lot of the sub summit. So one is the OT security sub summit, and large part of people also know that we engage with the law enforcement bodies, we engage with the judiciary, we engage with the entire cybercrime prevention and also investigation ecosystem of the country. And then for them, we do this sub summit for digital forensics. So that's
Yeah.
also one of the key special thing that happens in AIS is we our hackathon is the
Yeah.
probably the largest and the evolved thing in cybersecurity. So that's also growing significantly this year. But we're also introducing hackathon in industrial control system now.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
new thing which is happening in AI. Women and security is a big agenda of AI. We tie up with a lot of institutional ecosystem to really thrive that agenda. We also believe that this is a platform where career needs to be discussed and career needs to be
Yeah.
planned. So there is this pulse that we do. There is this mentorship program that
Class mentoring.
class mentorship program we do for somebody which is early stage in their career. How
Yeah.
could they
Yeah.
go this next level? And this year is a year of a quantum. A lot of preparation started happening, and we are just not talking AISS as a quantum security or cryptography. We build a big agenda for quantum technology and security, right? And there's an entire dialogue agenda for quantum edge is happening at AISS. We also are setting up innovation arcade at AISS. We have this healthcare cybersecurity sub summit kind of the effort that we are putting together. We are getting meeting of a chemical industry. We are working towards hosting the Indian cybersecurity diaspora. We did something last
Diaspora.
year, but now diaspora is also expanding. So there is a diaspora meet is also happening, and then all of these things coming together, right? we start day with a breakfast meet, a very interesting out of box breakfast meet, and we go on till even late evening, right? And we see, and why we are doing this, because of the encouragement, because of participation, because of enthusiasm, people to participate and engage with DSCI. A lot of these
mm,
agendas are built by understanding the government ecosystem, policy ecosystem, and what feedback that industries give to us, basically, right? This is how
mm,
the very multifaceted agenda of AISS has built this year, and we all know that this get culminated into the big kind of a excellence award that every year we do. The last day of the AISS is known for that, and
mm,
we know uh, as this is growing and growing, we are wherever we are going, we are outgrowing that place,
mm,
and
mm, mm,
that's why we are now this year there are two out co-locating hotels where at Aero City. So we are also spreading in. We're taking one more facility. So this is also a key addition and key expansion of the AIS
yeah.
as happening, right? So this all put together makes this year very inspiring, engaging, and exciting for all
Mm.
of us.
Okay, that's phenomenal. I mean, it's quite interesting what you said, Vinay. But I want to double click on what you just said, right? So ASS has always been viewed as an event for the country, right? I think people can relate that it's grown beyond ESA. Now people usually say, "Okay, this ASS is an event for the country," right? But over the last, I wanted to double click on what you just said about the diaspora, right? Those diasporas play a phenomenal role in the growth of the country and our security story, right? So we've been, I mean, as CSA, we've been driving and leading a lot of engagements to position Indian cyber ecosystem globally, right? So what is it that is happening at ASS this year that is actually showcasing Indian ecosystem to a lot of global audience, perhaps global CISOs? Is there anything that's happening this year?
So what we and many people probably knows about this. So we had been cautiously uh, trying to, because we believe that security doesn't know borders, right? Uh, and so is the capability that we build, be it a product or service, primary product in recent past. One is a India market itself is a good
Mm,
enough, and a lot of global companies are uh, either expanding their business here or coming here. But we are very happy to note that this expansion of the global ecosystem to Indian geography is not only they look at India as a market.
yeah, yeah,
So
of course.
they each of them are building the Make in India story. Each of them are
Mm,
building their engineering capability here. They see this as one of the important geography to commit more by setting up R&D center, setting up these
mm,
development
mm, mm,
operations, setting up the supports this ecosystem. So it's not like few of sales people trying to sell the product, basically, right? So
yeah.
AIS gives quite a good kind of a reflection of that ecosystem, which is going beyond the immediate business state, but see how exactly they commit bigger to the to
Mm,
this ecosystem, right? And that's why, and we get support from that ecosystem quite well, right?
mm,
And then we also see a lot of Indian ecosystem which is serving Indian market but also global market, and
mm,
they also uh, are expanding both domestically and internationally.
mm,
That's the one part of the story. But there is also this learning I talked about, this collective learning I talked
mm,
about. It
mm,
can
mm,
also
mm,
be very parochial learning. It has to be global learning as well. Right? It has global exchanges as well. Right? So
mm,
this diaspora meet that we do, right, serves all of
mm,
these purposes, basically, right? So one is the leadership here can engage with the global diaspora and share our experiences, because ours is volume, ours is
mm.
complexity, ours is the kind of scale at which we
Scale.
do. Most of the global ecosystem can understand from us, but in there we can understand from their side how they deal with the challenges, basically. So one
Mm,
is the
mm,
leadership to leadership level connect, right? And to our surprise, the last 2 years we have been seeing that the kind of India origin people in different levels
mm,
of cybersecurity across globe. And this is
mm,
not only limited to US. We are also seeing happening in European Union area, in Middle East, in South Africa, an African nation. And in the recent past, we have been also doing on a eastern part of the
mm,
geography, like Thailand or Malaysia and many other countries, right? And even so we are seeing participation coming from all of those geographies to AISS. And not only that, the cybersecurity itself is now the cyber diplomacy engagements of the India and to government. Also, we also have a lot of engagements with the other geography. So
mm,
the diaspora plays very important role in this interaction, and we have been taken conscious effort since last year
mm.
to bring those diaspora in the origin diaspora in cybersecurity to AISS basically, and we'll keep actually building on this. This year is quite a credible thing that is going to happen, and this also helps our entire innovation agenda that we run as a national center
Mm.
of excellence under ASI basically.
Okay, so I mean that's quite interesting, Vinay. So I want to come to the innovation agenda that you've just mentioned about, right? So ASF has always had this innovation lens into product thinking, into positioning, into doing business and everything else, right? So. How is the innovation agenda evolving in this year, ASS 2025, if I may ask you?
There are multiple things. So one is that arcade that we are setting, right,
Mm,
where startups are getting great opportunities, and
mm,
that's one of the significant thing that we started doing, and we are getting great support from the entire startup ecosystem for that. A lot of content also carries innovation as a very important element to be deliberation. Apart from this arcade, we also do very startup focus effort, including the uh, engagements with innovation, how startup engage with the CISO fraternity of this group. So we are creating a lot of those kind of possibilities for startup to engage with the entire ecosystem, including the investment and the market connect and
mm,
CISO engagements that may happen, right? And being part of this big ecosystem of AISS, the startup also see or probably get a that kind of a experience
visibility.
ki where they stand
Yeah.
and where the ecosystem sits. So integrating startup ecosystem to the larger ecosystem, this
Mm,
AISS provides that platform basically, right? That's important thing, right? Then the innovation box that we run is
mm,
we select that one big idea of this year in cybersecurity innovation. So that's
mm,
also very interesting, engaging kind of reality show that we do, innovation reality show basically, right? So so that's a very startup engagement focus kind of agenda. And then we also do this India's best product company as excellence award, and our excellence award also provides quite a good impetus for user industry and other industry ecosystem. Also provides quite a good impetus on what kind of innovative ideas that organizations put together, right? So this innovation agenda is expanding every day, every version of AISS basically,
mm,
and we want to build on this, and that's why a lot of suggestions that do come to us, we will try to work on those suggestions to make sure that we expand on all the directions to further and to scale up the cyber innovation ecosystem agenda.
mm. Okay. I mean, building such a big and diverse agenda, I think it's quite challenging for you and then for all of us, right? But as we are nearing the end of the discussion, right, I want to ask you three personal questions on this, Vinayak. Your personal takes on this, right? So, I mean, what is that moment over the last 2 3 years that probably you would have seen key that defines okay, this is why we do ASS, right? What is it actual is there any feeling that you have when looking back over the last 2 3 years? Is there a moment that you say, okay, this is why we do ASS. This is why ASS is important, right? Is there anything of that sort you want to share your experience about?
So, I mean, having done AISS, I think this year would be my probably, if I
18th,
really well, is
17th,
a 17th or 18th year of doing
18th
AISS.
year. Yeah.
I still feel excited to do AISS basically, right? Because of the subject that we are in. A lot of the
Mm,
credit that we do, we contribute goes back to the subject of cybersecurity,
mm,
privacy, ethics, non-critical technology that we talk about, right? So the subject is complex. I know it's complex. It's
mm,
difficult as well, but it's also very exciting. It's like
mm,
and especially in this tsunami of acceleration of technology we are seeing. So it throws quite a good challenges every day, almost every day,
mm,
right? and it
mm,
makes you to go back to your thinking,
mm,
challenge yourself basically. You have to think and also come out of your complacency. And complacency, I'm talking about day-to-day complacency. You may think that you know the today better, but something happened tomorrow, right? So that
mm,
way, subject of security, and uh, that's very important part of what we see and what we do at AISS basically, right? And this subject of security has so many different dimensions,
mm,
so many
mm,
different nuances, so many different ways of looking at, so many different ideas that can be put together, so many different ways it can be approached, so many different aspirations can be associated with that, so many different possibilities you can generate out of it basically, right?
mm,
And so
mm,
many different kind of ecosystems can come together. I talked about defense,
mm,
government, private, in the private ecosystem, sectors. In sectors, there's a transaction processing, there's economy generating. So there are a lot of these things down this subject connects to it, right? And
mm,
that is the reflection, right? And AISS is a great reflection of that. It's a great combination of things have happened in the country in all this area, and including the end citizens issues and problems as well. We know that cybercrime is a very important area that we deliberate and
right.
discuss in AISS as well, right? And then we also look. This is a domain now, and that's what we are saying. This is domain which has to take a lead on understanding new technology much earlier than what business or tech people can understand, because our role is to enable organization to use new tech, and these governance
Mm,
cycles sometimes become so slow, and that gap between the businesses and security may get widened. So AISS provides all this opportunity, and it's a reflection of all of this thing, a representation of all of this thing I just talked about, and that excites us to to think about, to get excited about the new version of AISS.
oh, okay, that's phenomenal, Vinayak. If I have to ask you one last question, right, to the audience who is listening to us live, and to the audience who will see this for the next 2 3 weeks, right? What is one piece of advice that you would give for someone who is coming to SS this year again?
Yeah, so I I always believe, and it's this AIS is different than what uh, we have seen, and this will become very important. Next thing is like, so I talked about the security is a green field now
Mm,
because
mm,
of it has, we were getting comfortable with established build a lot of things, and now suddenly disruptions and acceleration of technology is making it greenfield. So being coming an open mind is the important thing, and also exploration. There are a lot of things at a meta level explore, but exploring
mm,
content
mm.
is important. So we have put a lot of good agenda all across AISs. Every room is filled of a lot of things that we
Yeah.
do. So I know that you want to come and meet people, but find time to be in those sessions, contribute your thinking to the sessions. So our ASS is not a monologue. We
Mm,
believe
mm, mm,
dialogue is a primary core of AISs that we do, right? So your values, your contributions contribute a lot of taking this dialogue ahead. So be there, get exposed to content, and also add value to that content, right? The second thing, right? Third part is like ideas and innovation, and
mm,
we are saying cybersecurity is a great candidate of innovation, especially if you look at AI. I am getting firm believer of that cybersecurity is the leading candidate of experimentation of AI. So that's
mm,
why innovation, and we do a lot of things on innovation, important part. There's some societal clause like we have what we do with the law enforcement officials and this digital forensics subsummit I talked about. Explore that as well. DSA does lot and thing in a CSR for cybersecurity. Get exposed to how the societal cause can be driven in cybersecurity
mm,
space. This year we are also adding, which probably I missed to mention, is cybersecurity in art. I know the our subject is complex, so we are looking at setting up a kind of a security art gallery.
mm,
We are also looking at inviting those designers and artists to experiment their design or the art around the subject of security. We are also doing very interesting security boardroom.
mm,
So we are setting a boardroom basically for that conversation, apart from all the things that I mentioned basically, right? So whatever I know, okay, when you come here and so many big agenda, you always get into this dilemma ki which one I should join. But plan better so that you know ki what you are attending, right? It's not like if you come with bland plans, you may get into this. So try to understand the agenda better to be part of it, and make your own agenda goal, your statement of purpose, and try to achieve that goal and purpose in AISS.
So Vinayak, I think you've covered everything so beautifully, but I think from my personal experience, you missed one critical point, which is the fact that one critical advice that I would give to all our participants is please come wearing a walking shoe or a running shoe. And that will be that much more kinder for your souls. So with that, I think I want to take a minute to thank Vinayak for such a wonderful interaction. As you've experienced, right, over the last 30 minutes or so, ASS is so much beyond security conference. It's essentially the entire entire Indian cybersecurity ecosystem, leadership ecosystem, government ecosystem, usually comes under one umbrella. It's a fantastic platform to explore innovations, to network, to contribute your learnings of the last year into one place, and also have a good fun along the way, right? So I want to thank all of you, audience, for giving us the 30 minutes of your time, and we look forward to hosting you at ASS 2025. It's happening in Pullman Hotel, Aero City, 3rd and 4th and 5th of December. So less than a month now.
Yeah.
Vinayak, any
So
parting thoughts?
yeah, so I'm just making, as India is meeting for security at AISA. So I want everybody who see are relevant to cybersecurity as a subject, distantly or directly, it will be great experience for you to be part of the AISS 2025, right? And welcome you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you all at AISS 2025.
Thanks, Vinayak, and thanks all of you. And we look forward to hosting you at ASS 2025. So you just go to dsawebsite.in if you want to participate, and then you will find the information about ASS there, right there. Thank you.